G'day everybody, welcome to Japan for the final round of the F1 2005 F1 season for ARW. We're in Suzuka for 13 laps of this round. My name's Stairs. As always, I'm joined in the commentary box by Madbird.
Ohayou gozaimasu. We are here in Suzuka in the Mie Prefecture, just outside of Nagoya, as we're here for the last round of this championship. Very exciting, Stairs.
That's right. Well, for the qualifying details, we're going to head to Robert. Robert, what have you got for us?
In an incident-packed session, Nether set the early pace in a strong showing for Toyota, despite a hairy moment at Degna 2.
Oh, a little bit wide there. How has he managed to keep that thing in control? Despite that, 9/10 of a second up on the first split.
His time remained unchallenged as several drivers fell victim to the unique difficulties of the Suzuka circuit, including usual frontrunners, goofball antics, and Stairs.
Blistering lap time!
Oh,
As
my
I
goodness.
say that, he spun on.
Oh, no. It was a little bit wide on the first Degna. And on the second, oh no.
Oh.
He has flung himself into the wall out of second Degna.
Oh, that's
he has
it.
come to a stop.
It was Xerus who kept it mistake-free to nab pole by 1.5 seconds. Back to you, Madbird and Stairs, in the commentary box.
Down it goes.
Well, thank you for that, Robert. Here we are on the grid, and just a recap there of the starting order. Xerus obviously on a dominant pole in the end by half a second from Sam Smith, and Nether, as always, showing his qualifying form up in third, and followed by his teammate Bags. It looks like a good showing for Toyota.
Absolutely, and we've got Roadhog in the Ferrari in fifth, followed by Bang with a very good qualifying for Minardi in sixth.
That's it, yeah.
Got the yellow Jordan of Baker in seventh with Zimaj in the Red Bull,
Yeah,
following up in eighth.
D-Smash in eighth there, yes, and Pablo in the Renault. Qualifies ahead of Rambo and Goofball Antics and Stairs bringing up the rear. They've had a disastrous qualifying session, but very interesting to see them fighting their way through up from the back of the grid during this race.
Indeed, expect them to be scything up through the field. We've got the Drivers' Championship. Stairs with a dominant lead over Nether, with Xerus and Goofball even behind them.
That's
Bagsy
it.
just a point behind.
Yes, wrapped up the championship last week, but very, very close. Only
Oh my God.
2 points separating second and
What
fifth.
is-
What's going on here? We've got all sorts of shenanigans on this warm-up lap here, which we don't need to see. Here's a replay. Oh, it was Rambo got into the back of the Renault, and the cars up behind had to take avoiding action. That's not what you want to happen. Oh, we had this happen in Shanghai, didn't we?
We did. I certainly hope there's no damage done to either the Renault or the Ferrari, as that would be horrible before the race even starts. But we're looking good. Yep.
There's our pole sitter, Xerus, so he's looking for race victory, and a bit of a free kick for him in qualifying with his closest challenges during the season, following up at the back at the back of the grid. And there is the Constructors' Championship so far. Toyota with 2-point advantage over McLaren, and with their two drivers well up the field, looking like they might be in a strong position to take out the Constructors' Championship today.
Indeed, would be hoping they're going to pull home a good result over the solitary McLaren, but you never know what's going to happen. Suzuka is a fairly hectic circuit at the best of times, so you never know what's going to happen when you start a race off in Japan.
Good qualifying session for Sam Smith. This is his best starting position in a race this season, and we all know the talent he has, but whether he can bring back the points for Sauber that so far have eluded them remains to be seen, as this becomes one of the most crucial parts of this lap as they get themselves ready for the start of this race, forming up on the grid.
Yes, and Xerus comes to a stop. Could be anything from 5 to 15 seconds that he is sitting there waiting for the rest of the cars to form up. His brakes going cold that entire... We've got, looks like Roadhog locking up into his
a bit of smoke
start
there.
box. But
I'm shaking, Madbird.
I am so excited. You have no idea. We have 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, and green.
Coming up, here they go. Xerus on pole leads away from the field in the final race. Here we go. Sam, has he managed to get through? We've got the Toyotas going at either side, and Xerus through into the lead, and the Toyota of, I think that's Nether through into second place, and Bagsy challenging for third already, and there's Ferraris behind, a bit of a gap to the leading 4, and oh my goodness, what a start.
Absolutely, that was incredible. So Sam just almost got mugged by both Toyotas, managed to keep Bagsy behind barely, but Nether off ahead. Already a few car lengths on him, chasing after Xerus. So Xerus definitely cannot remain calm, even with the first lap here in Suzuka.
Bagsy all over the back of Sam very early on the race, and Nether is only a little bit further behind as Sam's spun out already at Degner 2, and everyone goes by. He's back into 9th place already. There goes the Jordan, and he's got it finally into reverse, and there goes through the last 2 cars. That was the Renault and the BAR Honda, and Sam's back into last place. What an awful start for the Sauber, and that is disaster for Sam Smith, but what is disaster for Sam Smith is fortune for Toyota, 2nd and 3rd. This is looking like a very strong performance already as we head into the final sector of the first lap of this race.
Absolutely. So Stairs, the lonely McLaren, down in 8th. So he is at the moment not looking like he's going to be able to overhaul the Toyota teams.
8th up from 11th though.
8th, yeah, good start, but he's not looking like he's going to be able to overhaul the Toyota team. There's
smoke. We got Rambo. We got a Red Bull. There's Bang there, and Stairs just behind there looking for. We've got Bang into the pits already. That's a very early pit stop. And Stairs on the back of James.
Indeed, going up the middle might have both James and Rambo done. Nope, looks like Rambo's covered it off.
He has.
Going through the first corner as we've got, looks like Bang and Pablo both in the pits.
Yes, Pablo into the pits there. Rambo's managed to stay ahead of Stairs, but James has lost the position to Stairs in the first corner of the second lap. And James has spun already and off at the S's. That's not good for DC-Mash.
That is not indeed. Red Bull has had a shocking couple of races. Those tyres look more green than black at the moment, covered in grass.
Whoa.
As he almost takes out our camera. But
there's a replay. Yeah, just lost it on the left-hand part of that S section there, and a little bit of pressure relief from Stairs. A bit of a dramatic opening laps there. And looks like Goofball going past the Jordan of Baker there just before the hairpin on that 2 up to 7th place here. Goofball also making his way up as we've got Stairs on the back of Rambo just making his life difficult.
Yes, and all can take is some pressure. So as we saw in the first lap, Bagsy all over Sam. No contact or anything like that, but Sam just desperate to stay ahead of the Toyota, managed to put a foot wrong and span himself out. So Stairs, if he doesn't get the job done through 130R, which it looks like he's going to have, and he does, he would be hoping to force Rambo into an error. But all academic now as Stairs heads into the chicane first, heading on into the 3rd lap of this race as we've got Goofball getting past the Jordan down into the hairpin. So
yes, we just caught the tail end of that before. Another early pit stop 2 laps into the race, and Roadhog behind as well, also coming into the pits. So we're seeing a lot of different strategies shaking out very early on in this race, and here is Sam recovering from his disastrous start. He's already up on the back of James, who also had a mistake. So the 2 people who came unstuck very early on in the race, battling very closely on track there. That was very nearly Sam into the back of James there, and just 2/10 of a second between. Oh no, he's got himself onto the grass there, and that's back to 7th. So I guess we've had a few people pit already, so that's why he's only down as far as 7th and not last. But it's quite an adventurous. Oh, and Sam already on the back of Baker. He's a man on a mission now. We know he had pace from qualifying, but already that far up, that's incredible.
It is going into the hairpin. Looks like he might already have the job done, and he does. Shoots off ahead. Baker just got a little bit out of shape by the looks of it, going through.
It wasn't a bump and run, was it? Or?
Doesn't look like there was any. Oh, it was pretty close, but it looks like he avoided contact. Just managed to get a decent run on the inside, and Baker just a little bit too wide on the hairpin to take advantage of it.
That's right. Well, Baker, he's going backwards in this race so far, but Sam Smith will be very angry under that cockpit as we look through at the leader. Xerus there with a huge gap out in front. First place, lap 3, and we're still waiting for the car in 2nd place to cross the line, which is Bagsy, 0.6 of a second. It was Nether in 2nd, but he's pit early, and Stairs already up to 3rd with all these early pit stops, and Rambo into the pits as well. And that's Sam with an early pit stop also.
Yes, indeed. So Sam with a good run since his accident, which would have broken his little heart. We've got Rambo with a very long stop. Looks like he'd be fueling fully up. Sam,
That's it.
actually, no, look, about the same sort of fuel. I haven't noticed any other fuel up time so far, but Sam's
Yeah.
looks like about the same.
Full tank at this stage of the race to get you through a long mill stent. And Goofball Antics going through whether he gets the position up. Yeah, well, he's in 9th there at the moment. There's a lot of people already a long way behind the leader, some 40 seconds.
Goofball on the wrong side of the. You meant not meant to be on that side of the AstroTurf, mate. It is flying himself into the S's. Rambo with a generous look on the racing line there, out with his tail out on the grass, or his tyre out on the grass. Bang just behind him in the Minardi. So pretty decent race from Bang so far. Kept his nose clean, and he's done his first pit stop already. So once it all shakes out, he should be in a pretty decent position to challenge for some points.
Yeah, well, Bang and Rambo were very close on track when Bang came into the pits on the first lap, so it hasn't really changed much. They're very close still after their pits. Oh,
Looks like Sam is missing a front wing.
he is, and we're about to see why that happened. And
oh my goodness.
out of the first corner, just got it onto the grass and straight into the wall. That is very, very unfortunate as Bagsy comes in, and so does the leader Xeris. Xeris has had an 8.8 second stop. That's quick. And Bagsy, we're about to see the time a bit longer, some 9, 10, 11, 12. He's still going. There's Baker, and off he goes. There's Jordan. The Jordan in the background there is pitting.
As is the Red Bull of James.
That's
Z-Mad,
right. So that might that's some of the last of our two-stoppers. I think we're expecting Stairs to have. The thing that Stairs, because of his qualifying accident, didn't have to start with his qualifying fuel, so he may well be able to one-stop as we see James and Baker rejoining the track behind. I didn't see who that was.
It looked like it was possibly Rambo and another car.
Paying not the blindest bit of notice to the
God.
pit exit line. Oh, Sam, he's stuck in the gravel there, still without his front wing.
He has managed to get it back facing the.
There goes Pablo.
He's gone into the pits. Probably a wise decision.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Almost looks like he missed the pit entry
And then
there.
had to reverse that. The stewards might look at that. That's a little bit
It's
dangerous.
a bit awkward, yeah. But I mean,
uh,
I don't think his race could get any worse from the promising position he started in. He's had several incidents.
Luckily enough, a new wing just materialises on that new car. As
Now,
looks like
Toyotas.
Bagsy has managed to jump Nether in the pit stops.
That's right.
Which Nether would not be happy about.
Oh.
Happy indeed to be in second and third provisionally. I think there's someone who hasn't pit still ahead. But
Sam's still there in the pit
Sam
lane.
has been there for 23 seconds and counting.
Oh, and we got
Oh.
Nether coming around the outside through into 130R. Is Bagsy going to yield? They're still side by side, and Bagsy with the high ground remains ahead. But Nether's going to have the inside line into 130R, but backs out of it probably wisely. Don't want Toyota bits in the fence there because they are in a very strong position in this race, and they definitely want to keep it this way.
Indeed, their team principal would be on the horn yelling, just don't fuck this, don't screw this up, just don't take each other out. That would be absolutely horrendous. So currently third and fourth on field. I believe that someone hasn't pit yet.
Sam coming out of the pits behind them, already a lap down as we look at Stairs locking up into the
Stairs
hairpin.
possibly being the one that hasn't pit yet.
Yeah, well, he's in the lead, having not pitted, starting with a full tank of fuel, so he has a little bit less than a pit stop advantage over Xeris, 17.9 seconds. So after starting at the back of the grid, leading this race, I bet he would have been surprised to hear that. And we got Nether going backwards through Degner 1 into the gravel trap. That is not what Toyota wants to be seeing. I wonder if there was any.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Very close. The Ferrari going through that. I think that's Roadhog. It is. And that's a position lost for Nether. Hopefully just one position, but that is we'd like to see a replay. As I say that, like to see a replay of how that happened. Just got his wheel on the grass and then got himself a tank slapper straight into the wall there.
Lucky not to have much damage from the looks of it, from slamming into that
Here we
wall.
go. Here's the leader. Stairs,
Stairs in the pits for presumably fuel.
Yes, and Xeris coming through the final corner to retain. Retake. Thank you. The first place in this race, and there he goes to complete lap 7. Stairs is 3.2 seconds back. but it's probably a little bit less than that now because he had to have his pit limiter on. And there is Bagsy in the background in 3rd place.
So from 11th to 2nd in the space of a pit stop window is probably the best that McLaren could hope for, really. And suddenly, for all of my rhetoric about McLaren not being able to overhaul the Toyotas, he's currently doing his darndest to put himself in exactly that position, Stance.
Well, 18 points in his current position in 2nd. If he can stay there without pitting again, that would make, well, that's 18 points, 15 points.
Oh my God!
More issues for the Toyota. Oh, into the wall.
Into the wall again. Just all over the place. It's all falling
apart.
apart.
2 more.
Oh, Jesus! Nearly collects the Minardi of Bang.
Bang.
And never mind. It looks like there has been a drive-through penalty for Stairs for speeding in the pit lane. So that is, for all his hard work, he has been rewarded with a kick up the arse, and he is going to have to poodle along through that pit lane, not taking on any extra fuel, and costing himself probably a decent 10 seconds or so, Stairs.
Yeah, probably a bit more than that. Not good. Goofball Antics, meanwhile, has fought his way up into 4th place under the radar. We just saw him lapping Sam Smith in the background there, but he has some 2.9 second advantage over Roadhog there in 5th place.
What a disastrous race for Sam Smith. I just can't even quantify it, Stairs.
I feel so bad for the guy. He's had such a good qualifying session. Here is Stairs immediately serving that penalty.
Get it out of the way.
Yeah, get it out of the way. You just want to get your head down and hopefully not speed again. There goes Bagsy,
yep.
The Toyota, and we'll wait to see if anyone else goes through.
Would be Goofball next, and there he
goes.
He
is, yeah, and well, there's the... No, that's Sam Smith is lapped, I think. There's another car involved. Yeah, there it is. That's the Ferrari of Roadhog, who is about 3 seconds behind Goof at the last check. But, well, Stairs still does have it all to do now as we watch Bang pitting from what was 9th place back to 10th at the moment.
Indeed. As we've got, looks like Stairs.
On board with Stairs, chasing down Roadhog, who... Well, I wonder whether it would have been better to just stay out another lap or two and just set in some fast laps before he served his penalty, so that he wouldn't be behind traffic. But, well, that's all academic now because here he is on track behind Roadhog.
Well, that would be a team failure if anything. It's their job to yes, indeed, it's their job to communicate this stuff. As we've got Z-Maj, another one of our perennial offers today, has flung himself off in Dunlop by the looks of it.
Down to 9th. That's not good for D-Samaj there.
Indeed. I won't make the joke I was about to make.
Just gone wide and spins, spin.
All I can say is thank God there wasn't something there, as we've got Stairs going through on Roadhog. Looks like Roadhog might have just let him through by the looks of it.
Might be, yeah. Figured it wasn't his battle.
Oh, that one. I can smell that one.
I'm sorry. And Pablo with a pit stop there, so that may well be him done for the rest of the race there. And Roadhog into the pits too.
Indeed.
And Goofball. Takes out the cone.
Takes out the cone as he into
Ferrari right behind BAR Honda.
Very careful not to. I don't know if. Oh, and they've had to double stack.
Fucking disaster
there. The Ferraris have double stacked. Look at him. He's like, come on, move.
Ramo can't do anything about it. He's just stuck there waiting for Roadhog to have the longest pit stop in the history. 14.8 seconds to get 5 laps. That's unnecessary. There's the cone in the background that's been destroyed as Pablo came in. And Rambo and Goofball were joining just behind James, or D-Samaj, somehow still ahead of Goof after he's had so many offs. And that's Stairs dealing with a Renault, probably a lap runner at that stage because he's in 3rd. That's a little bit more, a little bit closer than he'd like to be.
Gee, looks like he just caught up with him in Degna 2. Wasn't expecting the Renault to be exactly where it was. Which
Massive
was
closing speed.
On the apex, but managed to get past him in the end. Zeros in for his 2nd pit stop with 5 laps to go. You expect this will be a short one.
Yeah, his last stop. Here's Bagsy. Unless he pits, he's likely to retake the lead of this race. Retake? I don't know if he actually has been in the lead at any point.
Don't believe he has, but he definitely would have had it in his eyes.
Yes, but well, there he goes. He hasn't pit on this lap, and here he goes into the lead. On lap 9, he is the leader by 2.7 seconds, but having not pit for his last
Jot that one down on the resume. Led a lap of Suzuka as James and Heathy are battling, Goofball are battling down towards 130R. James out on the grass.
Oh!
In the end, quite easy for Goofball to take that one.
Yes, James.
James
Oh,
not
James!
giving it up easy though, locking up into the chicane.
Oh, they're side by side.
Side by side.
Yes, they are side by side. Sorry to cut across you there, Madbird, but Goofball is the victor in that battle so far. I say that advisedly because the slipstream James has managed to take advantage of, and this battle is going down to the wire, and side by side through turn 1, James with the high ground, the inside line, and through back. Wow, this is an incredible battle. James not giving this one up at all.
Indeed. If I was Goofball, I would just be, considering James's track record so far in this race, I'd just be sitting back and waiting for him to fling himself into a wall, but he's obviously wanting to get it done faster than that, heading through Dunlop, nearly flinging himself off the track, but managing to keep himself just on it as James off on the grass, and as I say that, there he goes.
Oh, that's a heavy impact
And
with the wall.
That is a wing gone.
He's lost his wing. That is, well.
There it is, rolling over in the background.
In the end, Goofball heeded your advice, waited for the mistake, and waited for a mate.
Oh, and you don't have as much downforce going through that corner.
No, that's true. Yes, locked up the fronts, and the inevitable. There goes Bagsy through to lead yet another lap. Only 3 to go.
Got that down on the resume. 2 laps led of Suzuka.
It's going to be a short splash and dash for him on the last pit stop, assuming he doesn't need to stop. Assuming he does need to stop again. And Stairs 9.7, so he's about 4 or 5 seconds adrift of Xerus at the moment. That drive-through penalty has really hampered his chances for victory today.
Indeed. Is a one-stopper technically possible with quali fuel?
Well, he didn't have to qualify.
No,
Well,
I
he
mean
did- he did-
Bagsy.
We don't think so. It was barely possible last week in Indianapolis, and that was because the race was 1 lap shorter than ordinarily it would have been.
Because of the tyres, correct?
Yes, the tyres.
Yes, the tyres.
Yeah, the tyre, because of the tyres.
It's like big gap from Stairs down to Goofball. So
Those round black things on each
yes.
corner.
so
Oh,
go-
here comes James, into the pits.
managing to lock up heading into the pits.
Decided no rear wing is not, no front wing is not for him.
Yeah, he's still got the rear one. You can see it.
Yes,
there.
no, I can see, Now he has a front one.
He does indeed. They've put that on immediately.
So he's going to fall from
instantaneously.
8th.
So even though the wing is already on, they have to inspect it for the following 25 seconds. So that's slightly frustrating.
I think there might be several other bits of damage there as Stairs coming up on Sam, who's had a forgettable afternoon.
Absolutely.
And Sam just ducking out of the way and getting into the slipstream, seeing if he can get something out of today's events. If nothing else, it's a character building experience. And James still there in the pits there. That timer is just going up and up and up. Maybe going down a second lap. I'm not sure actually where it's. Oh, and there's Bagsy coming into the pit lane just in front of James there.
Some of these pit boxes are incredibly close. I don't know if you saw earlier
Look
on.
at that 40 seconds longer in the pits for James there than Bagsy with his quick splash and dash there.
Oh my goodness! Earlier on, there was a pit stop with a Ferrari who could barely get out past the.
I think it was Goofy.
It was Goofball, I think. Yeah, and be hoping for a slightly better turning circle in that thing, but
He would.
alas, when it doesn't have downforce going through a corner, it turns like a pig.
Madbird, this race has flown by. We only have 2 laps to go. There's been so much going on. And James is retired from the race.
He's given up the ghost, I mean, to be honest.
That's, a bad day goes to... Well, probably a bit better now that he's out of this race. He can go
He
home.
can go have a drink
Yeah.
and smack his head against a wall and just ask himself why he bothers.
Well, this is the race leader. He's really been unbothered for most of this race. 8th and 9th, that's a big gap, 36.2 seconds.
Goodness me, yeah. The only real.
There's the gap in real life. You can sort of see it's not. I mean, if Xerus makes a mistake, Stairs is there. He's in the same shot, just at the. Oh no, that's Rambo.
Rambo is out of fuel or has exploded his.
No, I can see smoke coming out of the back of the engine there.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, on the final lap, the final lap but one. Penultimate lap, I should say. Here is a replay from the back, and you can just see coming into turn 1, smoke pouring out of the back of that Ferrari, and that is not the way that he wanted to end his season. I mean, it wasn't the best race. He was going to pick up a couple of points, but there he is, stationary on the side of the track.
To be honest, he probably could have pulled further off the racing line than he has, but...
Oh, he is actually on the racing line going into that corner. There go the leaders. They would have, you know, and they're really pushing it right now. I think the gap's something like 4.5 seconds. Sam for yet another pit stop in what has been an adventurous race for him.
Just goes to show how damaging that drive-through penalty was for Stairs. If he hadn't had that penalty, he would currently be in the lead going by the timers over Xeris, but because of it, he is currently chasing with everything he's got for this final lap, but can't see it happening, Stairs.
No, I can't see that happening at all. Looks like Sam's dropped behind Baker with that final pit stop. I don't know if that was a scheduled pit stop or whether we had damage earlier on in the race where he maybe had an early pit stop which didn't get him through to the end of the race.
Oh my! And of course, like the race cannot let Sam leave without one more punch in the guts. So
wow, that is unfortunate.
Spins out going through the first corner, but Matt managed to keep it out of the wall at least, so he doesn't have to tortuously bend his way around a lap without a wing. As we've got Xeris here coming up towards the final sequence of corners. A very, very impressive showing from the Sauber driver, or BMW driver, do apologise.
Yes, Williams BMW is about to win its second race of the season. Stairs with 2, but Xeris with 2 now. And he has won this race in dominant fashion here. He hasn't really been troubled for the entire race. Stairs did his best, but ended up 4.5 seconds adrift. And there is your race winner, ladies and gentlemen. Here is third place with Bagsy in the Toyota in third to pick up 15 points. And we wait to see where Nether finishes to see whether they've got enough. He only needs 1 point, 2 points to overhaul McLaren. Because there he is. So that's we saw Goofball fourth, although he's very slow across the line. And looks, is he out of fuel again? That was that's a lap car. That was Pablo. There he is. He's crossed the line. That was. I mean, just like in Indianapolis, I think he's run himself out of fuel. We've got Bagsy in the pit lane, who has got a bit of information about that. Bagsy has Nether run out of fuel there.
Yeah, looks like they were a bit touch and go on making it all the way through the race, and so they just rolled across the finish line and just made it across. So it was very lucky for them, and that does secure the Constructors' Championship for them.
Oh, well, what an incredible boon for Toyota. We'll wait a little while before Nether comes in before we talk to him, but we've got a bit of a recap here of the finishing positions there. Xeris in first place, 4.5 seconds from Stairs, as we mentioned. Bagsy in third. Goofball had a nice recovery drive up into fourth place, didn't he, Madbird?
He did indeed. Stairs would be kicking himself for that speeding penalty. Nether, after a promising qualifying and first couple of laps, down into fifth. So not a horrible race in the end, but still not as good as he would have hoped for. Bang in the Minardi in sixth. Roadhog in seventh.
Baker, he had a fairly uneventful race. We saw him a little bit early on, but he was the last car on the lead lap, but picks up a handy couple of points there in 8th. Pablo in 9th, and ended up getting that position on Sam Smith with his late pit stop. And then, of course, we had Rambo and Disamaj, the drivers, to end up out of the race, unfortunately for them. Well, that is the race result. As far as the Drivers' Championships, Xeris catapults his way up into second place, and 3 drivers in third, fourth and fifth are tied on 20 points.
Toyota, as Bagsy said, have secured the Constructors' Championship with 40 points to McLaren's 36. Williams BMW down in third, 25. Bauer Honda in 20.
And we've managed to catch up with the 2 Toyota drivers down in the pit lane, having secured the Constructors' Championship. Bagsy, after you had quite a tense fight with your teammate during that race. How did you feel that went for you?
Yeah, it went pretty well. It's a shame that we were racing nice and close, and it was a shame that that had his issue and went off. But we still managed to secure all the points we needed for the Constructors' Championship. Some may say we had a bit of an advantage having more cars, but I'd say it was just better teamwork by bringing 2 cars.
Well, that is logical and true. Nether, you started the race in third place, but in the end the race didn't go probably as you would have liked it to, but nonetheless you got the championship wrapped up for the team.
Yeah, we did. Starting in third, blessed to be starting that high, given that some of the faster guys were at the back of the field. after making a couple of mistakes, we thought that we'd probably have to try and stretch it to a one stop. We thought we might get a safety car at the end, but we were just lucky to coast across the line and hang on to that 5th place, and fortunately it's enough points to bring the Constructors title home.
Thank you very much for joining us in the pit lane, Bagsy and Nether. We look forward to joining you later on with some more series. We've got some Formula Ultimates coming up,
We do.
some with the 2017 F1 series. But as far as us from here in the 2005 F1 series, that's us done. My name's Stairs, and as always, I've been joined in the commentary box by Madbird.
Indeed, sayonara.
Konbanwa.